This shit,
Yeah, we
man.
talked about a lot of other shit, you know what I'm saying, about, as far as, his life and my life. This is Cutty and Kickback podcast show with the eyes of a G, you know what I'm saying, with the G, Cutty and the G.
Cutty in the motherfucker.
You also know Eddie's Interviews podcast, you know from there. Dollar Bill, what other names you go by.
Shit, the sensei, the Don, the G, the general, the guy, the extravagant, that motherfucker. You understand me? And that son of a bitch, it just depends on what I done to you. Yeah, I'm a killer motherfucker. Just depends on what I done to you. I'm gonna come down and get money with that motherfucker. It depends on how you look at me, what I done to you. God damn you, me. Yeah, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm talking about, boy, I tell you, man, if a nigga get me a feeling for the fucking fight with the bear, you better help the bear. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, because I'm thinking about a goddamn coat, man, and a fur rug. You dig? You know what I'm talking about?
Clip, Texas, y'all. We in Oak Cliff, Texas.
We in Oak Cliff, Texas, man, live. You understand me? TTUAG, you understand me? Cutty in the G. Live in the back
Shout out to
man.
Scrubbies, man.
Shouts out to Scrubbies.
Scrubbies, man. Come get your Scrubbies, females. You got to get your Scrubbies to the world, you know.
Man, I'm talking about scrubs, whole sets. Man, got lashes, heels, purses. If you like designer bags, got those too. You know what I'm talking about? It's all kind of little gadgets and things and whatnot that you can get yourself together with. Sundresses, you understand me? Accessories and bangles and things that I'm thinking majigs, you know what I'm saying? Any kind of hosieries. And we also got toys. Yeah. I'm talking about from goddamn bed restraints and handcuffs and oh man, man, this a whole bag. I call it the goodie bag. Y'all fuck with it over here. You know
got the goodie bag over here for you.
Yeah, the whole goodie bag. You want to put some spice in your life? Say, man, for real. Man, say it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. You know what I'm talking about? We gonna reiterate on a lot of this shit. Man, my nigga been doing music. My nigga been having his motherfucking podcast going for the last 6 years. You understand me? My guy from Shreveport been migrated down here to the D. You understand? Been putting it down, man, since Nairobi's and you know what I mean? Going down to the deep Elm days. You understand me? Oh man, the story had me interesting a while ago, man. How he told me how he met my boy Charlie Moore, Mo. Shouts out to Charlie Mo TV.
Shout out to Charlie Mo TV, man.
It was an interesting story, man. You know what I'm talking about? That I was like, damn, really? You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about niggas getting hit in the head with bottles and niggas getting cut and man left niggas stretched out. Man, it was the same. Boy, y'all catch that motherfucking story with bro Cutty and the
Kickback podcast.
Podcast. He got that shit working with that one. You hear me?
Cutty and Kickback
podcast. Man.
6 years. Hey, this is my 5th year anniversary, man. I'm going on 6 years. I've been podcasting for 6 years, and this is my 5th year having my own podcast channel, man.
Man, shouts out, baby. I salute, man. I salute. But I've been actually rocking this shit, man, since shit. I think February, bro.
Appreciate you, man. I don't know
I've
how
been
you
doing this shit
man.
for 6 months.
I try to keep people trained.
So you've been doing this shit 6 years. I've been doing this shit 6 months. God damn. You hear me?
Yeah, we've been connected but 6 months ago.
No, for real.
Hold on, no. I take that back because
because we was already connected, but when I started my podcast,
I watched his podcast before I even knew who he was.
I will say,
and he had a couple of people on there that I'm familiar with, and next thing you know, I meet him, and I think this dude right here, man, that's his podcast. Okay, this dude from the podcast. I've been subscribed to him, and we connected, man. That's why I'm sitting right here now, and got some stories, you know. I can run with y'all, you know.
Keeping this shit going on like the Flintstone, man. The shit ain't gonna stop, man. Like even to the break of dawn. You understand me? For real.
I've been living here long enough. I've been living in Dallas long enough to call it home. Even though I'm from another home, I lived in other places. I know. I mean, I've been there too. I know a lot of history of Dallas. I've been through the history of Dallas. I got history here in Dallas. You know, as far as being a rapper. Coming down here being a rapper, man, performing at, Nairobi's and Deep Ellum, Palm Beach, Tomcats, places like that. From being a hustler in the street, going to TDC, going to jail, going off, coming back home, having kids, getting back in the booth, leaving the fucking rap thing and leaving it alone and getting into podcasting, in which, relationships that I built in the past, throughout my years in Dallas or TDC or when I was in Philadelphia, in Shreveport, anywhere, Chicago, anybody I knew from different places, I built relationships accidentally. And those relationships I built was just an alley-oop for my career when I get older, which me doing podcasting. When I was young, I was rapping. Now I'm in my, I started podcasting in my late 30s, but now I'm in my 40s. And the crowd that I had met back then, we end up, reconciling 16, 15, 20 years later with podcasting.
Right. Nigga grown men now. Nigga growing men now. You dig?
We were able to talk to each other a different way than we did back then. And back then you didn't have Facebook. You had MySpace was coming in, but you didn't have Facebook where everybody can reach out and talk to each other.
I was locked up with MySpace.
Yeah, so that was fun, but now Facebook, people can be who they want to be. Like, you never know how nobody are until you get around them. And that's why I put my shit on camera. I do my podcast, I give you who I am on camera just like I gave it to you in my music. Because when I talk about my music is what I was doing in my life. And that's why my podcast what it is, because it symbolizes who I am, but how I like to kick it, drinking, smoking, and eating, laughing, talking shit, swallowing spit.
Type of shit. Amongst kings.
I love giving people their flowers. I love giving people their flowers. I love promoting people's shit. I love, you got a business, I promote that shit. It's like I'm a walking NASCAR. Just stick it beside me. I'm gonna walk with it. If you got anything you got going on, it's productive. And I see your vision. I'm gonna help you support it.
Like a motherfucker.
That's why
that's what it's supposed to be about, man. When you fucking amongst kings and gods and goddesses, you know what I mean? You're supposed to each one teach one. Steel sharp and steel. You know what I'm talking about? But it's also come a time, with some that just want to remain dull, you let them stay to the side until they get ready to become sharp. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, just some ain't ready, some meals. You know what I'm talking about? But, in the aspect of that nature, steel sharp and steel, man, is a beautiful goddamn thing, man. You know what I'm talking about? Because you're able to see your teachings flourish in the next.
And shout out to you too, man. I gotta shout out this man, man. I hit the subscribe button. I gotta shout this man out because he been doing this thing too,
man.
And when I seen his interviews, I also listen to him talk. And he's on the other side of the camera sometimes, and you can hear his voice. And he has that character, that charisma, even without the camera being in his face, you still get a laugh out of shit he's saying. You catch everything he's saying. There's plenty of interviews I watch where he's not even on the front part of the camera. He's in the back of the camera. And he's saying little crazy shit. Pretty much that's the only thing I'm catching on the episode besides the people who on this side of the camera. Like, the guy asking the question, he asked the question, and they respond, but he'll say some crazy shit in the background. And that's what stood out most of every episode. And then I finally see him in front of the camera. I said, yeah, I gotta go fuck with him. That's why I had to come up with it. That's why the story getting to him. We sitting right here. I said, he's just like me though. He kind of remind me how I was. Y'all know when I first started out, I was real raw. They called me Petty Kruger. And I was real raw, man. And like when I first started podcasting, you gotta understand, I'm a hood nigga that raps, man. And people that was around me, they were laughing at me doing podcasting because, they didn't know. First of all, they thought it was a radio station. And I was in iHeartRadio, and they thought they could call in, and they thought they had to have an iPod to listen to my shit.
Right.
That's how people want to wear. That's how black people want to wear a podcast. That's why when I told people about my podcast, I was on the Ian Gleason show. People were like, "What's that? Do I need an iPod to have it?" I'm like, "No, you can just watch this shit on Spotify or SoundCloud or Apple Music. You can just do it on that. It's just not visual. I mean, you can call up there, we can have you on an interview like that, but you can't. It's not a radio station. People didn't know because they were set up like the Breakfast Club. When they just see me take pictures and do videos of what the setup was, they'd be like, "Damn, it's a radio station." They thought they didn't know what podcasting was. That's why I say when I first started watching podcasts, all I knew was Joe Rogan Comeback Jack, rest in peace. Tax Stone, which is tax season. Nori came with Drink Champs later. Joe Budden had his shit before Drink Champs. Then I started podcasting. Then I noticed this thing called Takeover Podcast, which now is Takeover TV. A lot of other guys, they was having YouTube channels where it was interviewing people, but it was a podcast. I mean, a podcast is not the guy sitting on the other side of the camera and a person like DJ, like Vlad TV, Say Cheese TV. Those are not podcasts. Those are television, YouTube channels. TV, like they're doing small interviews. A podcast is where you see the whole deck and you see everybody talking. It's a bunch of interactions.
Type of shit.
That's a podcast, whether it's visual or whether it's audio, it's a podcast. So I didn't know about no other podcasts, but though. So I'm first generation podcast, I should say. We went out with the Ian Gleason show. Drink Champs weren't out yet. It was just Tax Stone and Comeback Jack and Joe Rogan. Now everybody do a podcast. Basketball players, actors, comedians, celebrities. Everybody has a podcast now. So I gotta compete with them now. You know, it's like, I wish I would have did this shit 2012 when I came home from jail.
Yeah.
And got in, because it's, you know, I'm almost at that 1,000 subscribers peak. It's hard to get there because once you get there, man, then you in cahoots with YouTube.
Okay. Once you reach 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, you get your hours are right. You got 4,000 hours watch time. You start getting that distribution. I mean, that check comes.
The monetary.
The monetization.
Money.
So I let go rap to do this shit because rapping wasn't really going nowhere though, because I with a crew of niggas, man, you know, shout out to them. They weren't trying to progress what we had going on, what we were doing. I mean, we would record a lot of, I had this crew called the Lottery Crew, which I'm gonna get to, that I had connected with this other group called the Others, and we formed the Others. I started doing the rapping shit when I came down here. Started performing, doing open mic nights at Nairobi's, Palm Beach, Tomcats, Liquid Lounge, a place called The Rush, and with familiar names like Goodness Gracious, the Filling Station, Kobe Savage, Big Dolla Tha G, Money Waters, Cottonmouth, DSR, the Grifters.
All them niggas hard hitters.
All them niggas, they was there.
Shout out to all them. Playing skills, Grifters. You know what I'm talking about?
I could go on and on, man.
C-Pone, Shouted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
They was there. They was there at the places I was at, man, back in 04, 05, 06, 07, on that underground Dallas rap grind, trying to shine under Kundalini, who was the only one that was out there trying to showcase us, you know, as local talents. Mm-hmm. But I think that crew of people right there kind of opened the doors up. That's when you start having the guys that came with the Dougie songs and all that. Dallas needs to change. It went to that boogie.
That boogie era.
That boogie era then. And I
little bro, shouts out Lil Will, man.
When I came home, shout out to Lil Will.
Shouts out, bro, to Sin City.
He put me on the show too, man. Him and Doe Montana.
Oh, yeah, shouts out to Doe, man. I fuck
the
with
Dirty North,
man. That's that knock me up. Yeah, man, that knock me up.
4900.
Oh, man. Say, love. Shouts out to Moonhead.
C-Stack.
900. C-Stack, man.
Yeah,
Stack Mode Brothers, man. Them boys showing out there,
yeah,
man.
QP, all of them.
QP, man.
Them
boys say, boy, them niggas showing out there now. Trouble 2 times. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. Little Ricky, man, out of Hamilton Park.
You got Rich Carson, you got
Rick Carson, man.
214.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. There's a few cats out there north, man. They doing it Lucci, man. Doing their thing, man.
Mr. Pookie.
Pookie, Lil Pookie.
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about? You know, Lil Crook. Shout out to Lil Crook. You know what I mean? Them boys say, them niggas knock me up. Man,
I like this song. Shout out to North. I'm an outside nigga, man, where I'm from.
Yes, sir, man. I done played the North, man. Say the North is my second home, man, besides the East, the North.
So
I done get all the way around this bitch in Dallas, man. You know what I'm talking about?
The outside is so big, because like, what part you got the Webb Chapel side, then you got the Skillman side.
You got the Skillman side, you got the Maple side. Then you got on down there, going by Commonwealth, going into, it's the end of the North, going into the West. You know what I'm talking about? Man, I done done all that.
You got Far North right there up there about, Timberland and
yeah.
It is up there on Rosemead.
Yeah. Man, I say, man.
To Carrollton.
Say, man, now that's when I start my point when you start going to Carrollton.
I don't go to Carrollton.
I remember
right
Farmers Branch.
I'm right next to the bitches. I don't go to the
Farmers Branch and all that shit. That's why I draw my line.
I'm a tollway driver, man.
Oh,
only streets I take, man, is Court, Beltline, Spring Valley, Mumford.
And that's it.
I take the tollway or the highway. I don't got to take the streets.
Hey, man,
I take a fucking Preston.
My motto is the signs ain't green, I can't ride in it.
See,
if it ain't DPD, I can't fuck
I'm on the
with
far north side, so man, I stayed on the north.
You better take a toll road. I bet you won't go through Carrollton, Addison, Farmers Branch,
and Addison.
Man.
Addison, I ain't though, man. They cool. That's where I stayed at.
So Addison was cool to you?
Addison cool. That's why I hang out at.
Yeah, in Addison?
Yeah, that's why I did my. That's why I hustled at.
In Addison?
Hell yeah, shit, 10 years straight.
In Addison?
Hell yeah, I put a stamp on that whole block.
In Addison?
In Addison, man.
Oh, my nigga say
Beast the Beltline right here, man.
Man, say, now I fucked around in Garland.
Beast the
you know what I'm talking
Beltline.
about?
Here's
Shit
the
like
thing.
that. I ain't fucked around no Addison.
Addison got bars and little hangout spots.
Okay.
And I sold cocaine, so it was, who wants cocaine? People that's drinking.
True that.
I was in that coke wave then.
Yeah.
That's why I said, once I seen what cocaine did, I was in the spot to do what I did, it's before I go to jail.
Okay. So you was in jail from Arlington, from Addison?
I mean, they kicked this door in.
In Addison?
This was in, the dude off Midway and Timberland. This is
okay.
Far North Dallas, which is right there. Addison right there, but it's funny how the map is, because you can be right here in Dallas, then you get to the airport, you in Addison, then you get right there, you back in Dallas.
Farmers Branch,
Farmers Branch is over there, but you get back to Dallas, then right there, then it's Carrollton. So I was in Fort North Dallas before it gets to Plano.
Okay. So you on this
on this side of the tollway.
Yeah, I know.
Where like it's mixed with Carrollton and shit. All these you got. So that's probably the door. They gonna call the other phone.
Hey. Hello? Hey. I'm using this phone for the podcast. Call me on the other phone right quick.
Well, no, just check your messages and do what I need you to do.
Okay. On this phone?
Yeah, I can text to this phone right here.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying though, man. That part right there, man. And it's funny because people don't. What I learned when I went to TDC, man, people on the south side of the DFW area, they got the north side kind of mixed up. They think it's all about a bunch of rich white folks up that way and people riding the BMWs and Mercedes. They don't know it's a bunch of hoods up in North Dallas, and there's some hood parts and hood people that's from the hood in North Dallas or in Addison or Carrollton, Richardson. They don't understand you got people who move from out of state and out of city to Dallas that's from the hood that moved out in these areas, and that's where they end up migrating to, and they brought hood activity to those parts, especially when they realize that they can do the same thing they doing what they're doing in the hood with a different and a better clientele. It's not like when people say, oh, you poison in the hood or your community. No, I ain't poisoning not my community. These people right here not from where I'm from. These people in the bars and shit getting drunk, getting fucked up. They want to fix. They need a kickstand. So when I was selling weed at first in X pills, then it became the X pills and cocaine. Weed was secondary or something that you put on the back burner because it sells itself pretty much. Everybody wants some weed. Even the people who wanted cocaine wanted weed. So I got my whole point, what I went to jail for was for buying coke on that side of town, but it wasn't because I was on Beltline. Beltline is the money, it's a gold mine right now. If you somebody that's if somebody was out there to go, there's probably about 10 other niggas out there right now to this day still doing what I was doing. It always been that way. They out there every night hanging out the bars and shit. That's what they do.
We gonna get this shit together, goddamn it. You understand me? And make this shit work, goddamn it. God damn, nigga, I'm talking about I'm all the way out. A lot of motherfuckers shit like that.
We got all the weeds, y'all.
God
We got all
damn,
the weeds. It's
man.
good though, man. I'm all the way high as a motherfucker.
Say, man, it's raining, motherfucking out of weed, and the goddamn shit that stopped by 9 times, and we done lost about a motherfucking hour worth of footage.
Yeah, we did.
But we keep on rocking this shit. You know why? Because this shit ain't scripted. And this shit is live off the motherfucking grit, live out the motherfucking pot, live out the motherfucking mud. You understand me? And I put that on my dope man Nikes. Bitch. You understand me? I put that on my dope man Nikes, bitch. Hey, man. Say, man.
See why I connected with this guy,
man.
right? See why I connected with this guy, man. Like, even regardless of, like I said,
So you know what I like about it though? What I love about it, it shows growth within men, man, and what we're doing, because years ago, we all know I'm a dog, bro crippin', you know what I'm talking about? And that's one of the reasons why I let my nigga, you know what I'm saying, because he's from the left side, you know what I'm talking about? I know my nigga on the left side, I'm on the right side, you heard me? So, I made my niggas say, man, feel comfortable, man, say, my hood, my dog, how's yours, man? You know what I'm talking about? Say, man, I love my lokes. The lokes that I fuck with, I love my lokes, man. You know what I'm talking about? Man, me and this guy, man, been following each other, man. We've been watching each other's style. And I was like, man, I want to meet the brother. You know what I'm talking about? I want to meet the brother, man. You know what I mean? And I know my brother was a loke. You know what I'm talking about? I had his name said. You know what I'm talking about? For those that understand the lingo, if you don't understand the lingo, if you don't know, you don't know. You know what I'm talking about? But if you're a real loke, you already know what it is, man. You know what I'm talking about? You already see it. So I say, man, I've been connected with so many real lokes, you know what I'm talking about? And I be like, bro, the color be obsolete. You heard me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And I be like, bro, why we didn't see this shit, my nigga, when we was out here crippin' the blood? You know what I'm talking about? If we probably would have took the time.
Mine wasn't,
Just say that we would have met at a McDonald's or something. You had your family, I had my family, and then we didn't even know what each other was, and we connected on some money. That should have been, you know what I'm talking about? Until we met up one day and I'm flamed up and you clued up. You hear me? And then you be like, what the fuck? But it wouldn't change nothing because that money be coming in too good.
And that's what most, I know as far as like in Cali, a lot of, in Cali, politics, they didn't like a lot of certain rappers collaborate on certain songs with each other.
Right, because of that.
And he's a blood of your crib. But it's like where I'm from in Shreveport, it was instilled with neighborhoods to not like the other neighborhood. Like Crips didn't get along with that Crip.
Okay.
Like you rolling 60, you didn't get along with Hoover Crip. At the time, they had Grape Street Crips. They had Avalon Crips there. If you went neighborhood rolling 60 Crip, you was the enemy. The Bloods, the Bloods never got into it with each other, but I just know where I'm from, and it was kind of like LA. You didn't get along with. It wasn't from your.
So y'all had a lot of LA sets and we still have a lot of LA sets in Shreveport.
Shreveport still got most of the people that.
What LA sets on in Shreveport?
They got Rolling 60 Crips. They got Fidos Hoovers. They got Grape Street. They got back then they had Avalon Crip. They had Main Street Crip. They had some Banana Streets and Lime Streets. It was back in the 80s. Now keep in mind, before the movie Colors came out, gangbanging was already in Shreveport.
Okay.
So we was already seeing.
So y'all, it is a Grape Street actually in Shreveport?
No, but it's not even a Grape Street in Shreveport. It's just a set.
Okay.
From LA.
Okay.
And they did what they did in all other cities around the country. They migrated, gangs from New York, gangs from LA migrated all over the map to form sets in Memphis, Little Rock, Arkansas, here in Dallas, Fort Worth. They all came from LA, that's how it was started. I just know when the drug trade was going on back in the 80s, and they had to get out of LA. And some of them guys from LA, they was on the run, and they was going to these small towns and these other cities east of LA, like Dallas, Houston, New Mexico, Albuquerque, Phoenix, Shreveport, Little Rock, Atlanta. And that's how they started migrating, and they were setting up shots. And that's how I know the Rolling 60 Crips was formed, and the Fidos Hoovers, they were the main two gangs, the 5'9" Bloods and the Pyros.
Okay.
They were the main gangs in Dallas, but it was a set of Grape Streets also. But the original Shreveport gangs is, you got the 22 gang, which is from the Cooper Road, which is now Rolling 65, this Hoover territory. and then you had the bottom boys, which you got bottom boys that are from blood set and crip set. Then you got the bottom boys, and then was a bunch of jack sticker boys that rob you, and you know they steal your dope and they sell it. You know, that's
Type shit.
Bottom boys, that's what they are. Then from those two, you got 1-4 Allendale and 1-5 Lakeside, which I don't know if they blood or crips. You got Lakeside Kings, you got the Harp Street Boys. Then you got this other gang called 19 NTG. That's over in City Grove, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was a spin-off from Five Deuce Hoover, because a bunch of Five Deuce Hoovers eventually started becoming 19s. And I think 19, they call it 19 because it's 19 streets of City Grove from 60th to 79th Street. That's why they call it 19.
So all that shit 19.
So they call it, we got East Side, you got West Side. East Side City Grove is more, that's the more, you don't want to get caught up on that side more than you would on West. West is pretty much kind of, it's not neutral because it's still 19s over there on that side, but they're not like the ones on the east side because it's like deep City Grove. You get, but I'm from the side of town, which is the north side of Shreveport, which is, you got Cherokee Park, Grimmett Drive, Villa Norte, the Bronx, which is Barton Drive. You got the Cooper Road, which is like its own island, like Oak Cliff. The Cooper Road, we all the north. You got Pine Hill Road, North Pine Drive, Lakewood Villa. You got places like that, that's considered the north. You know, anything in that area, which is predominantly Crips, Rolling 60 Crips. You got some Five Deuce Hoovers, which is in Pine Hill Road.
So they share hoods with the Crips. I mean, with the six.
Areas, not hoods. I mean, some hoods, you know.
I'm talking about like, so if Five Deuce over here and Six is over here, that's still the same hood. Is there a boundary or a cross section that they split them up?
It's a cross section, but you got like this part of the map right here. You got them Hoovers. This part right here might be 60. That might be 60. There might be some Hoovers right there.
Okay.
In the same area. Like
Okay.
my neighborhood, they had blood. The North Market, North Hearn area had bloods there too. There was a lot of bloods there back in the 80s and early 90s. And they was in Cherokee Park, Highland Park, Villa Norte, the Bronx, all of those areas too. Everybody went to school together, so you did have bloods on that side of town. But as time went on, the bloods merged off. They left the area. More Crips, all the Crips stayed, and more Crips multiplied. So they was all around us, just rolling 60 Crips and Five Deuce Hoovers on the north side of Shreveport. But you had a few bloods there still too. You had about like 5 or 6 bloods, and them homeboys. But they homeboys though. But they homeboys though, like they wasn't nobody, you know, that they represent where they were from. We didn't hold it against them.
But they knew both sides. Cause they went to school with the niggas.
Yeah, they know.
Okay, so the Hoovers and the Sixes know these 4-5 bloods.
Yeah, everybody knew everybody. We, to this day, even in our 40s and shit, man, late 30s and early.
So did the Sixes and the Hoovers beef?
And we could beef all the time with me. It was the time with the Hoovers beef with the Bloods, Blood beef with the 60s beef with the Hoovers, the 19s. You know, the 60s was like they beef with everybody.
That's everywhere though.
I mean,
It's like 60 way or no way, man. You know, Sixes like that even in LA, man. They don't.
It's times. I remember in school, there was times, you know, when it was like that. You know, the Bloods used to pair up with the Hoovers.
Okay.
And it's like against our hood or whatever, you know, it's like.
I know down here, man, 60s and then rock with Hoovers.
And see, you got, I never knew why it was like that, but in jail, you know, everybody together. In TDC, everybody together.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they don't care what, it's not like you gotta go in there and get initiated or whatever. If you say you ain't down, and somebody tell you that you know, hey man, he was down to the last unit. He said he ain't down no more. Well, he said he was down to the other unit. You get a D. And because they feel like you false claiming that you don't want to claim where you're from, you're scared. And at the other unit you was this gang, but this unit you neutral. They gonna question you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only time that the gang, the Crips and Bloods put hands on each other.
What unit you been on down here?
I was in Gurney unit, I was in Holiday, and I was in Huntsville for about 4 days. I had a layover. I ended up going to Mineral Wells. Yeah, that's a pre-release unit on the other side of Fort Worth. It's closed down now, but that's why I did my last 4 or 5 months.
That when nigga wear his wrong clothes and all that shit, right?
We had some khaki ass shit. We had the blue jean jackets and shit. We had on Chuck Taylors and you had boots, whatever kind of shoes you want.
I'm saying, but the nigga that had that goddamn TDC white on.
I took the all whites off.
You got like AC in them hoes, didn't you?
Yeah.
AC in them
the
hoes.
TVs and the flats and shit up in there.
Them say, boy, them
we
niggas
were watching cable TV up in there.
Nigga going to Minimum Wells, boy, you was lucky.
They was wide open like the projects.
Yeah.
Wide open, man.
The projects right around the corner from them hoes.
You wide open all day, man. You just got to make count at that bump.
Say, man.
Yeah, he was wide open.
Boy, that motherfucker say, man, I used to hear stories about that.
Man, you know what? I got it's a bunch of Mineral Well stories.
Being locked up, boy, that whole like, heard about Ray's boom boom room. You hear me?
Yeah.
I'm talking about nigga be sitting up in there, nigga laid up in the bar, nigga, and burning hot hell, nigga, you hear me? Or you done heard of me when I was in French Robinson, or you know what I'm talking about, shit like that, man. The nigga be, man, I was in the middle of the well. The nigga be listening to that bitch, nigga like he talking about Ray's boom boom room.
Yeah,
wild like that.
And then we used to watch, what's that shit used to come on Sundays on the TV 21, man. I forgot the name of this shit, man. It was the Dallas station, but they show all the videos and shit at 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
When that shit come on, we say we going to the club tonight.
Yeah. Flavor TV.
Yeah, don't even
say that's how a nigga be too when he going to the club. Say for real. I remember my nigga used to go he used to get these goddamn syrup quills, man. And nigga, you melt them whole down in that bitch in some Kool-Aid, you know, all day long, you know what I mean? By the time that bitch liquefy up, you know what I'm talking about? You drop that cold ice on that bitch in that water, nigga, that bitch say, I swear up and down, you swear up and you finna say, like you on drink for real.
We should do that
say,
shit.
Nigga,
that shit.
Oh man, nigga, say next thing you know, nigga, you sleep in the motherfucker. Hey. You say you sleep in the day room, nigga.
Wait, my Sandy, man, used to make that shit, and he had the cigarettes, and he had the cell phone.
Oh man.
He back in 2000, it's been well 2012.
Yeah.
I came home 2012 in April.
Yeah.
And like Mineral Wells, like this shit went by so fast that I was like, I felt like I was free, but I had a schedule, I had a fucking what you call this, a curfew.
Right.
Report 2-3 times a day. Like I've been in the day room all day playing dominoes, playing knock. It was, you know, Mineral Wells was crazy, man. Gurney was. I met a lot of crazy people in Gurney too.
Boy, they call that whole butt naked Gurney.
Butt naked Gurney, man.
Gurney.
Yeah, when you get out that fucking goddamn bus, man, they yelling in your face, calling you pussy, bitch, hoe, all that shit, man. They just make you strip down. They call it butt naked Gurney because shit, any given time, any given day, you can be walking down that fucking bowling alley, right? The little bowling alley, walkway. Yeah. They can make your ass strip, nigga. You can be pouring down rain. You can come from Child, man, and they can be like, hey, Davis, Cutty. Get over here, let me see what you got going on right now this rainy day. Make your ass trip down, man, just to fuck with you. That boy it's called a butt naked, man, I used to hate them guys. Because I realized how bad they was because other CEOs in TDC and other places wasn't like that.
Nah, because when you on the motherfucking rock and roll units or when you from one of them old units, you know, that nigga, you know, he get beat that blade put on his ass.
Yeah, we was right there by beat.
Nigga, know, he get set up throughout that top tier, you hear me?
Speaking of that shit, right when I got released from Mineral Wells, though, we was into the Crips was into with the Tango Blast, and it was behind one. It was on the south end of Mineral Wells on the south end. One of the Crips had threw one of the Tango Blast dudes off the third floor.
So Mineral Wells they terrorists?
Yeah, well, they all like big domes, like it's like an old military base.
Okay.
They all three. It's like. On the north end of town, it's probably about like 10 dorms, and on the south end of town, about 10 dorms. In the middle, you got the library and the school and all that right there. You got the south end, they got their own yard, that's the weight room with the weight yard, basketball court, all that shit, rocky. And the north got the same thing, out on the north end. Like I can go hang out on the south end side. I just gotta make count one at a time.
Right,
I can be everywhere, you know, but on the south end, I just know they got into it with the Tango Blast, and it was right when I was finna get out, and it just got all over the whole unit. We was involved with the Tango Blast. That's why we had to go on lockdown and shit. And it's like every time we go, no matter where in every unit I was at, even in county, when it was time to go on lock Lockdown is when they put all your shit out your shit. They search everybody's shit, make everybody shoot down, but nigga for 30 minutes. Every time they had those moments, I was catching chain to another place. I was in Denton County. That lockup came. I caught chain the day before that. See, when I was in fucking goddamn, when I left Gurney, nigga, they were doing lockdown, the next day. I got that lay in to go to fucking Holiday. Holiday the same way. But then with Mineral Wells, I'm about to get out. I got out on a Monday. It was like a ghost town, man. It was all foggy and shit. And it was quiet and shit. Everybody couldn't do nothing. Everybody had to sleep. We usually ride all night, sleep all day. Everybody was laying in their bed, man, that night, knowing it was lockdown. They couldn't do shit. But I was on this bitch, like, I'm glad I'm getting out this bitch. I was happy
What you had to do?
I had a 4-year sentence. I did 2 on the 4, so that's what they I supposed to got out way before this shit, man. You go for your parole board here, man, and they give you an answer, man, like you give you an F-I-1.
Yeah.
Well, I went right before all the holidays, man, and you know when the holidays come, you just bag your shit back. And, you know, I go right before fucking Thanksgiving, and then you got Christmas, then you got New Year's, then you got President's Day, then you got Joe Biden, you got all this shit. And I probably got my answer back in what, about
2 to 4 weeks.
Well, then they told me 12 to 16 weeks. They told me 16 weeks. What they told me. Nigga, I ain't called chain the holiday. Nigga still ain't had an answer. I ain't get an answer, nigga, till I got the motherfucking Mineral Wells.
That was your answer.
I did pretty much, yeah.
That was your motherfucking answer right there.
Yeah, I ain't know it, but like I remember going to get get told about what I'm gonna get. Nigga, your shit stop. My shit still going though. I ain't tripping.
Keep it real.
But I remember when I went to go get my answer, and nigga was like, other inmates and shit, all running with. They were like, man, shit, you might gonna get dumped, man. They might don't let you out. I said, I'll be damn, man. I ain't trying to think negative about the shit. But then when I got my answer, it said FI1. It means you finna be out within the 30 days. And the next thing you know, I go to fucking commissary, nigga, to go. I just seen the video on my phone. Hey, so I go to commissary one day. I had commissary, but I wanted to just have me something just for extra. I was gonna already give the dude, the other cellmate, whatever I didn't have anyway to do, because he wasn't really making stuff. But I had went to go get, order some commissary, and swipe my card. That bitch said, your shit froze up. I said, why? I said, I got like shit $495 or something on that bitch. She said, you must have to go home or something. I said, that's right, I thought it said 30 days. He said, no, within 30 days.
Within 30 days.
I was on my way back to the fucking
That's how you know you finna go. Your card cut off.
She said, Dave, was you leaving Monday? It was April 11th. April 11th. You leaving Monday on the 11th. You ready?
Stove must be there Friday.
We went on Thursday. We went Thursday. We went every Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Stove was that Thursday. You was packing it up Sunday night.
Shit, nigga. That was over with. See, I went home, nigga, with $495 check. Then they give you $100, right?
Yeah.
Then your parole officer give you a cell phone and another $100, nigga. I'm fresh out of jail, nigga.
Oh, they give y'all cell phones?
Yeah, nigga, track. But I had 2 phones. I gave my cell phone to my daughter.
They give you a track phone and $200 now?
Yeah, nigga. But you do it back in 2012.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm fresh out of jail by $700, man. And people taking me out to eat Papados. Shit, man, I was going there to eat. I was so happy to eat some of that worldly food, man.
Shit, went home and shit it all that out.
Shit, man, I was so
Nigga went
happy.
home and shit it all that out. Emergency.
Got back in the
nigga, shit was bubbling on the way home.
Trying to get back in the studio, man, do music, man. That shit right there, it wasn't cracking, man, because the shit that I wrote when I was locked up. I wasn't finding no beats that matched what the content was. So I'm like, fuck it, I just started rapping on shit they had, already up there for me to rap on. And I put an album out prior to that called Louisa X's before I went to jail, which I dropped on all the platforms. And I planned to come home with a different drive. And nigga really wasn't doing it, but just sitting in the studio smoking, drinking, had females over there playing shit. Wasting time and shit. I remember one of the dudes, chicks who was with at the time, You know, because she was part on the other studio. She was, the shit was in her name.
Right.
And she wondering why y'all ain't making no music? Why y'all just sitting up in here ain't doing nothing? They used to butt heads behind this shit because she wondering why she paying rent on some shit. Nobody.
It's just a kicking spot.
Yeah, it's a clubhouse thing.
It's a clubhouse.
She boarded that shit out one night, and when I started seeing that shit, I kind of like merged away from that shit and started working on my second album. One day I just said,
she was right. Shit, nigga ain't never done music making up in this house. What is all this?
I was getting irritated with it
a lot of
because
motherfuckers sitting here fighting nobody making no motherfucker.
I came out with expectation to get drop music, man, and because I had some shit on go. And it seemed like the whole time I was locked up, niggas weren't even really fucking with each other, to be honest. Because I was the centerpiece of the whole crew. I'm a dude that brought two cliques together and brought extra people along with that and kind of like made everybody known to what they doing. Because if it wasn't for me, they probably wouldn't know that. Nobody probably wouldn't know you're a rapper, man.
Type shit.
Because they know this is what I do, and they know I love feeding people whatever I got. I'm putting out, just like this podcast. I love showcasing whatever I got going. Nobody else ain't gonna do what I gotta do. That way other people start doing it. You know, they gravitate to whatever I got going on. But that's how it was with rapping and shit, though, man. I came down here thirsty for this shit. You know, I was a street rapper at first. Came down here, started doing shows at Nairobi's. Shout out to Kundalini, rest in peace, man. He had everybody on deck. Like I was saying earlier, you know, I was doing shows at Nairobi's, Tomcats, Palm Beach. A lot of ups, a lot of good times and bad times. I damn near lost my life down there one.
Man, you know what? I like I say, man. Me and my boy Greedy, man. We was doing a little music thing, you know, for the scene as from Dallas, but we didn't really do it too long, man. You know, like I say, I was in and out the streets or whatever. And when I come home, man, I fucking signed with Platinum Star out of Miami and moved there. You know what I mean? Type shit. So I didn't really ever just get a chance to do the shows from Dallas. You know what I'm talking about? Go to the open mic nights and
I was trying to
shit
see,
like
did you
that.
have a rap history? I was like, I was trying to figure out what did you do, that way I can ask you about it besides the podcast. So I said, I wonder what he's known for. Is he a rapper? And I'm trying to Google shit, man.
Yeah.
Over can know whatever it is, dollar bill. I'm sitting there trying to, but I'm like, this nigga, I can't. I said, he's just one of them niggas that's in tune with the streets. That's all that
Hey
is.
man, I'm a street nigga, man. You know, but at the same time, I ain't in the streets, but I'm still the heart of the streets. You know what I'm talking about? Type shit. You know what I mean? It's like having a wizard. You know what I'm talking about? You know, when you go see the Grand Master, man, the Grand Wizard, man, you can sit down and chop it up with him, and you get some bones fed to you. You hear me? Might get a favor or two. You know what I'm talking about? Type shit, man. So, you know, when niggas come talk to me, man, you know, it's more like, man, let me go see the G. You hear me?
Yeah.
Let me get some bones thrown down to me, man. But
Make a nigga feel good when he leave you.
hey, man, type shit. Give a nigga some inspiration, man, some motivation. You know what I'm talking about? And, you know, hey, man, you know, whatever it is, and he might give me some. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I say, man, I don't use the terminology, man. I'm a grown man. I'm a growing man. Because every day I learn something new.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
everybody
talking
grow,
about?
man. You know,
Yeah,
that's
man.
right.
Every day, but for that music, I did music a little bit, man. Shouts out to Platinum Star, Mac Bone, man, COD, man. A few other dudes, man, I kind of remember, man. That shit was so many moons ago. Tony Montana. You know what I'm talking about? We was doing our thing. First time I ever rode in Bentleys, and first time I ever seen a nigga had a landing strip in the back of his house, and all kind of shit. Mac Bone was a motherfucker, man. He was a downright pimp. That nigga had about 30 hoes. He was an old school nigga, man. You know what I'm talking about? And he was from Canada. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he was a black dude from Canada, man. You know what I'm talking about? He tripped out part about it. Mac Bone, bro, didn't wear deodorant. But he stayed flying a bitch. You hear me? And he felt like I think he was with the Shine movement or whatever they do. They don't wear deodorant.
A lot of them motherfuckers, man, from France and Africa and UK, they don't wear deodorant.
Nah, it's their masculine scent, as you say. But say the nigga gated out, Dapper Dunn.
And they had cologne.
I'm talking about nigga Dapper Dunn, man.
Yeah.
Nigga got Ferrari, nigga got Bentley. I'm talking about nigga walking this nigga high, nigga talking about, ooh.
There's a couple of Nigerians I hang out with and drink with at the bar up in Addison. They Nigerian, they be fresh to death, man, like high class shit, nice whip. but they got that they don't
That
got
body odor, bro. They got that BO, bro.
But with $100 bottle of cologne sprayed over.
Nah, for real, you smell it too.
Like,
you know what I'm talking about? You smell it, this nigga dancing. But Mac Bone though, you ain't really smell him like that though, man. But you know, he just tell us he ain't wear deodorant. You hear me? You know what I'm talking about? So Mac Bone, one of the realest niggas, man. And like I say, man, I had a PCP habit then, bro. And we opened up for Trick Daddy then one time, man. And shit, I got up on stage, nigga, froze up, nigga. You hear me? Got on that bitch and got stuck. Oh my goodness, say, bro. And it really wasn't that he was mad about. He was mad for the fact that after I got off stage, I went back to the back room. Everybody laughing and shit. Boom, I'm drinking milk, calming down. You know what I'm talking about? I fired that shit right back up.
And you got mad again.
Yeah, nigga, you ain't serious about your career. You know what I'm talking about? And then at this time, my nigga, I was a young high-head nigga. You hear me? You know what I'm talking about? Kept mad, got Glocks, keep sticks in my socks. One in the back because I had a method. You know what I'm talking about? When the nigga dumping and loading, man, I'm up and I'm down. You hear me? I'm putting it in. You hear me? So, Mac Bone, man, I wouldn't say he was scared of me, but he was leery of me, nigga, because, you know, you couldn't control me. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And plus, I got a goons. You know what I'm talking about? I got some little hot heads with me. You hear me?
And this out here in Oak Cliff, right?
Huh?
Oak Cliff is Florida or this?
No, we in Florida.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? We in Florida. Oh, that's all his people in Florida.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? See, this how you divide and conquer, man. He separated me from my goals here and brought me to Florida. You know what I'm talking about? Where, nigga, I'm on his playing turf.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Now, I can't get to Florida with no gun, nigga. Now, the first time I went to Florida, I drove. You know, I flew. Then when he bought me the Riviera, and he bought me an apartment in Florida, nigga. Right there in Fort Lauderdale. You know what I'm talking about? He bought me the apartment, he got me the Platinum Star and the jewelry and shit, you know. Made a nigga feel good, gave me $30,000. You know what I'm talking about? Gave me $30,000, my nigga came to the penitentiary and saved me, put $5,000 on my book. So when I came home, I had that, then they threw me a party. You know what I'm talking about? I say that following week, nigga, I was on my way, bam. You know what I'm talking about? Doing our music thing, fucking up. You know what I'm talking about? I snuck some dip back, because my habit. You hear me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The first time I went to the plantation, I only done a deuce. You know what I'm talking about? I didn't even do the whole deuce. I think I did like 8 months or some shit like that.
35% of that bitch.
Man, did a turnaround. So it's like I didn't know, nigga, my traps was still going. Everybody just thought I went on vacation. You know what I'm talking about? You didn't miss me. You know what I'm talking about? I got right back. Everything was still popping.
Like you never left.
Like I never left, bro. You heard me? You know what I mean? So when I cut off into Mac Bone, man, you know, my bro was still alive, and him and Mac Bone, he knew Mac Bone was trying to take me away. You know what I'm talking about? So bro, he was always in my ear, we get this dope money, fuck a rap money. You know what I'm talking about? Then bro started trying to put his shit together, Dirty World Records. You know what I'm talking about? He was like, well, fuck you, nigga, we already clicked, nigga, you rap, we're gonna rap. You heard me? So anyway, make a long story short, when bro got killed, I went to the penitentiary with bro before bro got killed in 2000. You know what I'm talking about? Like I said, I did a deuce, I got out in 2001. Some shit like that. You know what I'm talking about? And then as soon as I got out, like I said, I went with Mac Bone.
Appreciate you giving me the time update because I'm trying to piece up what I like time because I like you say 2001, I can tell where I was at.
Yeah.
During that time, and it kind of like make me understand where you was at too.
Right. Oh man, say during that time, man, I'm just coming out. I wasn't for much gang banging. You know what I'm talking about? But I was a gang banger. You know what I'm talking about? I wasn't going out there putting in work anymore.
Yeah.
It was more about dope. You know what I'm talking about? I think at that time, bro, I think I had about 3 traps to myself and a few cars, and I was doing well. You know what I'm talking about?
2001. I was the only Negro with X pills in the city.
Yeah, oh man.
But like the black people
During that time, man, our X pills was $30.
It was $30 back then. It was back in 2000.
$25, $30.
It was back in. I'll take that back. It was in '99.
Oh yeah.
It was in '99.
Yeah, man. Them all was $30 out the month, so $25, $30.
They were $30 for some years though.
Yeah, about 3 years.
Yeah. Because matter of fact, when the first time I took one, it was $30, but it was given to me.
Yeah.
But every time I got one, it was 30. But once I started selling them though, it was $20.
Yeah. Okay.
I ain't started selling them about like 2000. It was 2001, 2002 when I started selling.
Okay, the value started going down.
Yeah.
Them hoes.
And then we used to get them
9.8, 9.8, 9.9. Them hoes were $30, my God.
When you buy a bundle of them, you buy over 100, you give them $7 a pill, or $13 a pill.
13, 14, $15 a
Then it went
pill.
down to $7 a pill, then it would start getting trashy.
Man, I seen some the other day. My partner Hank came over here with some. Them hoe, he said them hoe $3 a pop. I said, how much do y'all, my nigga?
Yeah, they got it good.
$3? I said, I definitely wouldn't take one of them hoes.
Niggas be giving to you.
I say, bro, you don't even know what the fuck these hoes. I say, bro, that's some shit a nigga just made up.
I had some homeboys come out here, man, for the weekend, man. And they was out here and they just party and do whatever they was doing. And I watched one of my partners take like 3 of them at one time. I said, nigga, when I was taking next pills, nigga, you couldn't take no 3.
You couldn't take no 3 at one time. Say, boy, you what?
I used to pop a half, nigga, just to see what the half gonna do.
Nigga say, nigga.
And then I pop the other half.
Then pop the other half.
Yeah, that's what I used to do back then. And sometimes I used to thug it out and be like, fuck it.
Especially, the best one was the green Omegas,
yeah, and
the Supermans, the Blue Dolphins. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, nigga.
The first one I ever took was a Mitsubishi.
The Mitsubishis used to go on.
Yeah,
the green was
the red
real
because it was hard and the symbol was big.
And printed in that bitch. The symbol was in not drew on, nigga. Nah, them ain't. We don't want them, my nigga. We don't want them crumbly bumblies.
You get a 70, you get a 100 pack and shit. 30 of them all crumbled up and shit. You got a whole seller.
Nah, yeah, nigga making powder dust. Say, man, I remember, nigga, we used to start them hoes.
I know, yeah, I seen the chick do that shit.
Yeah, we just crush the experience up and start them hoes.
I was hanging out with this white chick one time. She had stuck that shit in my ass.
I ain't never done that
She
before.
said it makes them roll hard.
I didn't see it done before them
She
hoes.
said, try it. I said, hell, fuck, no, I ain't trying this shit.
Say, we used to go to the club back in the Gap, man, called Lady Love. The old strip club in the South. You hear me?
Lady Love.
Lady Love. There was a hood club in the South. You know what I'm talking about?
They got LMAs over there.
Type of shit.
Animes over
That's
there.
all that type of shit over there. And young playmates and shit. That's when them hoes used to get high. Nigga, that nigga put that motherfucking tab over in the booty. You know what I'm talking about? And you know what I'm talking about? And watch this hoe roll. You hear me? Yeah, man. Say them X pills, man, back then. If you had X and cocaine and PCP then, you was the man.
And see, that's the thing though. Like before the X pills, we were just smoking weed and drinking and shit, getting fucked up off Thunderbird and E&J and Palmer Son and him. We used to go to the club and fuck with chicks, but just because of first of all, we're the club and the area at the time in the city has been, even though you're going there for girls, it's gonna turn out to be some gangbanging shit. All you gotta do is play a couple songs.
And niggas finna hit up.
About it.
Niggas finna start hitting up.
Because I'm down with my niggas.
Niggas finna start C walking, B walking, niggas finna start. He throwing up gang sign. Niggas finna start drinking. All this finna go down. It's finna go down.
America ain't nothing but a gangster party.
Say, but you know what?
Like that.
You always got one nigga. You always got the clique that's chilling and fucking with you. You always got that one nigga. I don't give a fuck if you're a Crip or a Blood, a GD, a Vice Lord, wherever the fuck he is. You always got that one nigga that's finna be rowdy. You hear me?
Yep,
he finna drink and he finna start stacking. He finna start finger fucking. You know what I'm talking about? He finna start dissing.
And guess who instigated to pump this shit up? A group of bitches.
It be a group of bitches because they finna, hey.
And I start tripping even harder. And
then it's gonna be his other partner that follow behind him. Now when you got two niggas, they boast because the other nigga want to be like him and he wants some shine too a little bit because the hoes saying some shit. Hey. So he finna start C walking or B walking and boom, now the Bloods over there or the Crips over there.
I think I C walked in every club I was in, man, like for the end of 30 minutes each time. Everybody used to always wait for you to C walk. When they used to play The Wrong Guy Deal by Snoop Dogg, I don't want anybody to get the wrong guy deal by me.
Yeah.
I just see when they play that song, man, they still try to make me C walk to this day, man, but my legs a little tired now. But I'm gonna tell you, man, it just, when X Pills came, it came a little more love, player shit.
I can say that.
Then when X Pills, we started chilling out, but then we started getting the mean to them bitches. Some of the homies, you know, they were powder heads before they did X, so they were mixing the shit.
Mixing, yeah.
And you know, and their attitudes were shifting and shit, you know, doing times and. Like, we get to that point where we thought we'd be in the club still there to fuck with bitches, but we end up still getting into it with other sets, you know. And then, you know, nigga, when the nigga leave that shit, nigga start doing the rapping shit, you know. I started doing, you know, shows and shit when I moved to another city. It's kind of the same damn energy, but it's with the music.
Right.
That's how I ended up bumping. That's how I ended up meeting Charlie Moore.
Again, shouts out to motherfucking
Shout out to Charlie Moore, man.
Charlie Moore TV,
real life
man.
street stars, all them boys, man. Because like we had, like I gotta share this story because the last time the camera went out, and it's about the scars on my face, and how me and Charlie Moore met was through a friend of mine, my homeboy Big Sack, who was a rapper out of Shreveport. And Charlie Moore has Charlie Moore TV, and he was in Shreveport one day. He interviewed my partner one day, and my partner had hit me up like, hey man, you know Charlie Moore TV, you ought to hook up with him, man. He out there in North Dallas. I told him about you, man. I gave him your number. Just so happened Charlie Moore hit me up on Messenger. I got his number, I called him. We went to chopping it up. Turned out we used to hang out in the same spots back in '04 when I first came here, you know, doing shows and shit at Nairobi's, and we went to talking and shit. And he was like, yeah, man, I was out there in Nairobi's and shit, Tomcats and Palm Beach doing shows, man. He's like, I remember we got into a fight one night with some dudes, man. We had this dude, this big dude. I just remember we was just all stumping them. Well, I wasn't stumping them. They was kicking them in the middle of the street. Yeah, it was just crazy that night. And I said, say, cuz, that was us y'all was fighting. He said, for real? He said, get the hell out of here. I said, hell yeah, man. He said, didn't one of y'all have a 318 hat on? I said, yeah, that was me with the 318 beanie hat, the senior hat with the bib. They could have had the little bibs with the beanie hats with the bibs on them.
Yeah, I remember them all.
With the area codes on them.
I remember them all.
I had the 318. He seen it with blue, and he recognized the 318. You know, he said, I like people from Shreveport and Monroe, man. You know, he seen me up in the bathroom and shit. But we got the thing is, to go back to the story. We were talking about incident we had got into. It turned out we was on the opposite side of each other, like on the opposing team, opposing clique.
Y'all niggas met in the bathroom but ended up on the opposition from each other.
We was cool with each other in the bathroom. And the previous time we was cool. You gotta keep in mind.
Other people made y'all enemies.
Yeah, we was doing the time, like a year and a half, we doing shows and open mic nights with the same rappers and shit. The same 25, 30 rappers around Dallas is trying to come up. We doing shows, it don't matter if it's at the Hip Hop Hunt, Seaman's Palace, Tomcats, here and there, some hole in the wall, some hotel. You knew Decker Boys was gonna be there. You knew Philly Station was gonna be there. The Grifters. You knew who was gonna be there. Certified Click. You knew Lottery Crew, which we were. You knew we was there when we weren't performing. We was there just to fuck with boo niggas and just cause that's what type of energy we was on, baby.
Yeah.
And then we thought any nigga that we gotta stand up when they up from the city that if you wear red, we think you're blood. You wear blue, you think you're a Crip. Like we was seeing a lot of red. Like we used to have homeboys from Shreveport come out here and watch us perform. They had thrown the same type of energy. They thought everybody was the opposing set because they wore a different color with them. But besides all that, anyway, me and Charlie Moore went to sharing the story with each other on the phone about that night, 2005 Super Bowl Sunday. Jerome Bettis' last game, Pittsburgh won Super Bowl against Seattle. And he started talking about the incident of my neck and all this right here, and we started pairing our story together, and it was a chasing, right on puzzle with each other. And we were like, damn, man. So we had to save it for the interview. He was on my podcast last year around this time. You watched the episode with Charlie Moore, and it tells you about the whole story of this and how we haven't seen each other since the situation happened until last year. And it was just because of my homeboy who linked us up, not even knowing the situation. And we talked about it again, and we made a show out of it. And then 2 weeks later, I had Creeper, who was a part of the battle itself, who's with us, who told a deeper end of the story. You know, that I didn't, I got my face all cut up, man. Big old brawl happened in the club, man. First off, it was, we in the bathroom, me and Charlie Moore chopping it up, talking about having a good show tonight, man. Y'all have a good show too, man. Take a bar. Boom, boom, boom. Just so happened we go up there to perform, like we number 3 slot. I give a shout out to everybody, Decker Boys, everybody is out there, boom. We do about 3-4 songs. Get off the stage. The host of the show, like, cut it, man, y'all don't leave, man. Y'all stick around and support everybody, man. We're trying to show love for everybody, because we had that habit when previous shows, when we perform, because most of the time we was rolling on the X-Field, or we drunk, we had chicks already lined up. We was headed back to the north, headed back to Skillman, after party at our crib. Just so happened we went that night. We was chilling to support everybody. Decker Boys go up. my Decker Boys is a group of guys that came in after we got there with me, Hardy Boy, Stan, Logan, Tuxedo Max, and somebody else, along with 6 females. One of them was my girlfriend at the time, my daughter's mom. A group came in, which turned out to be the Decker Boys. A Deuce, North Dallas, which is Charlie Modem Click at the time.
What you call it? A-Deuce?
A-Deuce.
Yeah, A-Deuce. Okay, yeah.
So everybody knew about them.
Yeah, nigga fuck with A-Deuce.
Yeah, so.
I remember when they first started.
Yeah, so it was them guys, and keep in mind, we probably thinking they Bloods, but some of them guys, most of them guys was Crips.
Yeah.
But besides everything else, the attention didn't come behind.
It was a little mixture.
It went behind no blood and no Crip attention because they had stuff going on with other shit previous to that night with other cliques, with other people, which was probably behind blood and Crip or whatever. But I didn't know that until I interviewed Creeper. And he told me about, okay, the reason why they was already high-headed because of these episodes that carried on previously at other events. And I know with my crew, they probably had issues too with these guys because they used to come home and tell me about it when I wasn't going to these events. And they'd be out, they come home and tell me about, we was fucking with them, we did this right
here. So basically the Decker Boys is A-Deuce.
Yeah, most of them guys with Decker Boys with the A-Deuce boys.
Okay,
So however Charlie Moore explained it.
Shout out to A-Deuce.
So however Charlie Moore explained it on the, Charlie Moore explained what it was on the episode I interviewed him on, along with Creeper, who had more input about them too, because I'm fresh to the city.
Yeah, that's a rockin' in the north right there on the area. That's the area.
I probably been here by the end. I'm staying right there. I'm right there on Skillman Road.
Oh yeah, that's all
right
A-Deuce.
Yeah, so I'm right there under them, right there the whole time.
That's all A-Deuce, man. You know what I mean? Except when you start getting towards Forest Lane and all that.
Yeah, on the other side.
Yeah, Stony Crook and all that.
No, that's the other side right there. But like I was on that side right there, south of 635. By Skillman and Royal Lane, Farrell's Crossing, on that end right there. So, but like I was saying, I'm fresh out here. I've been here a year. I don't know which side is what. But the thing is, Decker Boys, when they go on stage, they give me a shout out. I even go on stage with them. I'm on the stage with them, rocking it. I knew they already had, they was deep, they were 15 deep. We seen them when they came in. My girl was like, who them guys is? I said, it look like the Decker Boys. She was like, I went to school with them. So I'm like, okay, she went to school with them. I'm already knowing he's 5 years younger than me at the time. And she 5 years younger than me. So I'm like, okay, it must be, because she blew about 21, 22
Yeah, I went to Lake Highlands then.
Yeah, they went to Lake Highlands. And so it's all, I'm like, okay, so these guys are young. Most of us, we 28, 27, 26. One of us about 25 or 24, something like that. But she noticed who they were, but I noticed who they were too. But like I said, I didn't never have no animosity with nobody because I was building relationships, not trying to because of my character anyway. People gravitated to me, and I was a people's person, still is to this day. And that's why I'm doing podcasts to this day. And I was building these relationships, whether I was rapping, hustling, TDC, wherever. I built these relationships. Get back to the story. They about to perform. I'm on the stage with these guys. I'm sitting down on the stage with my drink. I think I'm drinking some gin. Cause I ain't squeezed out. The bar was so thin. We damn near went through every bottle where you had to drink what we had. I think I probably had some vodka or gin. But I'm sitting down on the stage rocking with the Decker Boys. In the crowd, I'm seeing my homeboy getting a little tussle or having some words with some other guys. And I'm watching it, and it looks like it ain't right. So I jump off the stage and walk over there toward where they see what they got going on. And it turned out they stepped on his shoes. He had on a pair of brand new fresh all white kicks he had. Stepped on his shoes, man. He said, man, they stepped on my shoes, man. Don't want to say they sorry or whatever. They think it's funny. And they still laughing about it. Just so happened Rook jumps off the stage. Shout out to Rook, by the way. He jumps off the stage. He comes down to me. He said, Cutty, what's going on, man? What y'all got going on? I said, man, these niggas, man, stepped on my partner's shoes, man. They don't want to say excuse me. They think it's a game. And he was like, man, we ain't trying to cause no trouble tonight, man. We're trying to have fun and have a good time, man. Me, I was already high-headed. I was like, man, fuck that shit. He's like, okay, man. He walked off, man. As he walked off, man, around the crowd of people, man, I'm still looking toward what's going on in front of me. Somebody hit me in the back of my head. I turned around and see who hit me back of my head before I knew it. The crowd's already breaking out now because they see it's about to go down. Somebody, whoever hit me in the back of my head, which probably was a rook, I don't know. He jumped some creeper who was on my episode 2 weeks after Charlie Moe. I guess he got on them. Turned out he had some shit going on with them. He's part of the situation why they was on go like that.
Yeah.
Previous episodes in other venues, he was in tour with them guys, which he ended up putting out there later, telling me. Now, 16 years later, I'm starting to get that back end of the story, which, like, you got Charlie Moe's story, which is adjacent to mine, but you got Creeper's story, which is a back end in the backstory behind all this shit while the tensions were there. Like, Creeper wasn't even supposed to be in there at the club. He got a phone call. He drove away from Holly Hill to Deep Elm. Somebody said the Decker boys there, man, they ain't finna get into the lottery crew, which is us. He got there, man, he watching this shit. He already on go, on point. You know, so whenever he got his opportunity to get at whoever he went to get at, cause they had him, they had, I ain't gonna lie, Decker boys had him, and they had him in Nairobi one night. They was sitting out there waiting on him. And they come out the club, they won't let him out the club though. Everybody, the security guard and the club people, they won't let him creep out the club because, you know, I seen that shit because, think about it, Creeper, we didn't used to get along with Creeper at first. Creeper used to host the open mic nights. My first time performing, I had a song I performed, well, I had 2 songs I performed. The last song I performed was called Post City. And I was going so hard in that bitch, I had the crowd yelling Post City. He cut the last verse off. And from then right there, we had no words for him. We wasn't cool.
They cut your shit out?
He felt like he was jealous. He seen, and he a Crip dude. He 357, I think. And I think he seen we was cripping and shit. That's why he kind of like, you know, he was the guy of the show every night. Everything he did, he could do 4, 5, 10 songs a night if he wanted to. He had his way. But that's another story. But he had something going on with Decker Boys and individuals out of Decker Boys. You hear on this episode, I'm gonna send it to you again if we can watch it. But you're gonna hear what I'm talking about now, and you're gonna piece both with Charlie Moe episode and Creep episode together. You're gonna be like, hey, he said that. And like, I didn't know I was laying down face first in the middle of the street, you know, all bloodied up, and they was trying to run me over. You know, this after the fact. We're in the club fighting now, you know, so when somebody hit me in the back of my head, Creeper getting on whoever that was, which I'm thinking it was Rook. Next thing you know, all them niggas over the stage.
So you think Rook, nigga, right from you talked to Rook, so you saying you think Rook got away from the crowd, went around the crowd, and came and hit you in the back of the motherfucking head?
When somebody did, maybe it was him, I don't know who it was.
But you think more than likely it was Rook?
Cause it happened so fast, cause by the time this shit happened, whoever it did, they kinda like, people got between us. And that's when Creeper jumped from where he from and started getting into it with him. But now I'm fighting whoever I see in front of me.
So you think Rook, bam, back doji,
that's why
bam.
In my mind, I feel like that's how it happened.
That's how it happened then, if you feel like it's in your mind.
But Charlie Moe, he can even tell you where he was at, because he was on the stage. He got to stay like 10, 15 deep on the stage.
So Charlie Moe was up there rapping?
He was on the stage just like it's I want the hype man, y'all, you got all your niggas in the back.
Okay.
So, we didn't know they had niggas that went on the stage though.
So
turned out they had some niggas that was in the crowd.
So them niggas must think on y'all ass. You niggas in a Hornets list.
I recall seeing a bunch of them niggas walk to the pool table after we left the pool table and go to the corner of the bar. They took the spot we was at before we performed. And then keep in mind the females, they left. They go off. They got class the next morning. They didn't want to stay out late. We didn't start performing till 12.
Yeah.
We sat there and watched the whole Super Bowl victory and all that shit. Then we started performing. That's how late we performed. We went on at number 3. They went on like at number 5 or 6, some shit like that. But when the fight broke out, we started saying we knew it was 4 of us that were gonna be fight. I knew I had 3 other niggas fight with me.
Yeah.
And then I had Creeper doing his thing. It turned out it was 3 other people helping us too, though.
So y'all had 8 niggas.
Against I thought about 15 of them in the club. Turns out when they break us up and cut the lights on and shit, cause you know I'm fighting 2, 3 niggas at a time. Okay. I got a Heineken bottle in his hand like this, and I'm punching like this. Cause I'm connected with the Heineken bottle with the left hand, whoever I'm hitting.
Yeah.
I'm falling every time. I'm about to, it's like 2, 3 niggas on me. You know, I'm about to go to these pool sticks and grab them, but I think I gave them an idea to grab the pool stick. Because they were about to get on my ass with one, but my homeboy from Long Beach came out of nowhere with a chair. Boom, knocked their 2 of them niggas out the way. They turned the lights on. They kind of like size everybody up. You can tell who with who. Charlie Moore got his head busted in the back. We don't know who did it.
Okay.
I thought I probably did it. I don't know. He said he don't know who did it, but he was angry behind that shit. Charlie Moore, somebody threw the chair at my cousin staying low. Now, he's 6'5", 275 at the time. He threw it at him. He missed him. So that made the club on and everybody kicked him out the club. About 5 minutes later, Stan
Low got the club.
Kicked Decker Boys in my club.
Decker Boys at the club, okay.
You know, they kicked him out of the club. Now my cousin staying low. He want to go outside and finish off. He want to fight some more. Now he croaking there. So me, I'm his cousin. I'm here in Dallas with him. We all we got out here. I got to go out there.
You got to go out there with him.
And yeah, you know, so boom. And everybody else, they stayed inside the club. That's the bad part about it. We get out there, man.
So it's 2 against all these niggas.
Yeah, what?
And y'all had 8.
We get checked out. We thought it was 15 niggas. We get outside, man. It was like the Foot Clan out there, about 40 niggas. 30 niggas out front with the guard. Hey, Dolla, we get out there, man, staying low. Hey, we get out there.
Hey, them niggas thick, man.
We get out there, and it's
a lot of them little motherfuckers.
I can remember mine.
Well, them niggas big as shit now, but
No, I remember walking out. When I walked out, Charlie Moore was right there. We remember talking to each other in the bathroom and giving each other tap and shit. And he just moved. He went on somewhere else, and next thing you know, is all them niggas right there. They just rushed us at one time. I locked up with one nigga like this, hit him 2 times, and next thing you know, somebody, boom, hit me back of my head. I remember feeling my skull or some shit, man, and rolled and hit the floor. But I don't know how the fuck I ended up. Tomcats is right here on Malcolm X and Cumbers. I ended up way down here on Coyote Ugly. You know what Coyote Ugly is?
I remember what that Coyote Ugly was.
Imagine how far that is.
It's called something else now, but I remember what it was.
I look down the street, I see my cousin get stumped by 7 dudes.
Bro, them niggas threw your ass up the street.
I didn't feel nothing in this part. When they hit me back in my head, that's when they did this shit right here. And right
cut your throat.
In my throat,
cut your throat,
my neck, my ear. The other part side of my face, I ain't feel none of that shit, man. But I guess I blacked out. Turns out, Creeper had told me when he had said, man, I'm the one pulled you out the street, man. You were laying face down in the middle of the street, blooded up, man. He was trying to run you over by 2 or 3 cars.
God damn.
And then, you know, Charlie Moore, they said the nigga name, and then it's crazy when you watch this shit, you're gonna be like, damn.
Man, I gotta get Charlie Moore on the show, man. Y'all talking about
shout out to Charlie Moore, man.
Shout out to Charlie motherfucking Moore. My nigga pulled up on me though, man.
We from the same tribe.
Yeah, my nigga pulled up on me over here, man. Yo, talking about.
I see that interview.
But we didn't get a chance. Nah, he didn't get a. I don't think
he didn't know edits though.
Yeah, he didn't know edits. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man, that's my guy, man. I fuck with Charlie Moore. You know what I'm talking about?
You know what? That right there, that whole, like we got cool with each other before we even was around each other in a physical form. Like we was having phone conversations about the situation and how we talked about the story, what happened, man. And we finally met each other. And then he came over to the house with Damn D, matter of fact. Then he left and he came back and then did the episode. And then even after the episode, we stayed in tune. I interviewed Cousin Jed, his homeboy, which we from the same side of town, the same hood. Cousin Jed, his homeboy. He the one started Ferguson Street Boys back in the day.
Oh, yeah?
6'4", all this shit.
Right on.
So shout out to Cousin Jed. But
shout out to Cousin Jed.
It just so happened how me and Charlie Moore met. We haven't seen each other since that situation in 2005 in February the 3rd. 2005, February the 3rd. It was 2021, July last year. It probably was August last year. This time I meet him and we talk about this shit, man. And 2 weeks later I get told the back end of the story, man. And shout out to Charlie Moore, man. Charlie Moore TV, man. He's a good guy. Like you said, we from my tribe, man. It was meant for us to talk about that story, though. I feel so relieved behind that shit.
Oh, man.
You know,
hey, man, say, y'all get that motherfucking exclusive shit. TTEOA motherfucking G, man. Y'all talking about cuttication.
The eyes of a G.
You understand me? Man, say, I'm glad that y'all, you know what I'm talking about. I like to hear them old war stories, man. And then when a nigga get old now, you shake a nigga hand, you hear me? You know what I'm saying? That shit be cool as shit, cause nigga, man, like a lot of niggas that I used to, I don't have any enemies, man. All my enemies are gone.
You don't have any enemies?
Like niggas that I used to, back in the Gap or whatever, niggas see me and shake my paw. Hey, Dolla, what's up?
I don't got no enemies either, though, man, to be honest. I didn't have no enemies then. You know, it's just, that was just a situation that occurred because I remember shit.
That's crazy though, at a rap concert.
Check this out.
That rap shit say. That's just like don't cut y'all, man. Remind me of like that motherfucking movie, 5 Heartbeats.
Yeah,
When all them niggas come to fucking sing and shit, niggas be beefing with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? They actually scrapping and shit, booing each other on stage. And to me, that shit would be like encouragement to me.
What I seen though, I feel like if we would have gotten the game, this was gonna happen anyway.
Anyway, it's constructive criticism, dog.
We was on that type of energy. Only thing about it, we was on the underground too. We was in the game, in the rap industry, we would have got into it with probably shit motherfucking 3-6 Mafia, who knows?
Right.
Or motherfucking the Locks. You know, we would have got into it with no telling.
Why? Cause the nigga booing the nigga.
Oh, yeah, because we just don't mess with each other. I mean, I'm not, shout out to all them cliques though, by the way. I'm just
I don't
saying.
know if them niggas still around, but shout out to them niggas though,
I know
man.
the Locks still doing
Say,
this shit.
man, money, power, respect, where the key in line.
You know, Jadakiss, you see how Jadakiss was.
Say, Jada was the truth.
And the verse
Jada's
battle
still
against
true.
Dipset.
He ate everybody up.
Killed them.
By himself.
They just dropped the album too though. I got all
Jada,
this shit. You know what I mean?
man, I'll tell man,
all
you
the
tell me,
old school
man,
niggas.
all the niggas that
I'ma show you.
man, I ain't know, I'm gonna have to go look that shit
I be-
up,
I
man,
be
and see if
saying-
all them niggas still got shit going, man, cause
I'ma just
me
start
personally,
sharing
I'm stuck
shit
in
to
the
you.
90s,
I'm
nigga.
gonna start sharing shit to you, man. That old 90s shit, every time I just tag
I'm
you
stuck
on
in
it.
that shit, bro. That's all on my playlist, homie. You know what I'm talking about? If it ain't, I don't got no
Hey,
Young Thug, the bald head, nothing, nigga. I was listening to Money by the Ton, nigga.
Yeah,
You hear me?
yeah,
Nigga, you
yeah,
know what I'm talking about?
State,
Oh,
all
nigga,
that.
I'm just boy. You can't fuck with
Yes.
this. Your bust cap said my ring on you miss.
Yeah.
Hey,
Birds
man.
in the kitchen, nigga.
Hey, birds in
Palms
the
itching.
kitchen. Palms itching.
Why
Why
the
my
shit-
nigga cook up and quarter chicken?
Open that
Nigga,
Valorant,
he don't raid. Man, say,
Yeah.
y'all don't know nothing about that kind of shit. Cause
I still
y'all,
with that shit, man.
y'all still with that motherfucker.
Hey.
Kill a motherfucker. Sell bricks, bitch.
Hey.
And got money.
Niggas replaced the fucking bitches with the guns.
With guns.
Nigga had down there 20 niggas, 40 guns in the video, no females.
And I be wondering why. What is all the guns for in the videos? What is that?
I mean, it's
to
like-
me, my nigga, it's always been the element of surprise, dog. You don't never know what I got, nigga, until I pull it out. You hear me? I ain't boasting, brag. I don't never lift my shirt. You would never know it's there until it's time to need it. And when I pull that bitch out, you gonna be looking like, nigga, where that bitch come from, nigga? You hear me? Are you gonna be, nigga? Are you on the front side of the fire or behind the fire? That's the question to be asked. You hear me? You know what I'm talking about? So when a nigga pull that bitch out, are you in front of the fire or behind the fire? I suggest you be behind the fire, nigga. You hear me?
That's why I think, and another thing too though, that clubbing used to be the only time of the functions that go on period. Would always shit happen there.
True.
And I got to a point where I said, fuck the club. After clubbing for 10 years straight, I said, fuck the club. If I'm not performing, I'm not going.
That's one reason why I quit rapping, bro. I became an author, bro.
I became-
Because to me, bro, I don't want to do that shit.
I go hang out, I go to a pool hall.
I don't want to drink and drug every motherfucking day. I don't want to hang around a bunch of niggas that's not controllable.
Exactly.
Or, you know what I'm talking about? I don't. And then to me, it's so much shit that go on with rap music these days. I see why these niggas packing choppers and shit. Because you got a bunch of live wire niggas who really think that if you kill a motherfucker, he gonna be spawned over there. And you know what I'm talking about? You ain't nothing gonna happen to you. You just got a body up under your belt. It ain't like how we were coming up in the 80s and the 90s, nigga. Nigga burn a nigga, be right back on the block. You hear me? I'm talking about nigga been up did so much shit. When it finally caught up to you, nigga, you like, which one? You hear me? Because you done so much shit. Karma wasn't as fast as it was as she is now. You understand? So coming up in that era, bro, it was a whole lot of motherfucking different than what it is today.
I heard, I seen something the other day, probably about 2 days ago. Somebody said it, and I don't know who it was. Probably was Dub C or Corrupt. Somebody said it. One of them gangster niggas said, you think about it, shit, back in the 90s, we were doing worse than what they doing now. Back in the 90s, they just got cameras and cell phones and social media now.
That's it.
Think about it. They think they just seen the Rodney King ride, this televised, but it was other shit they did. Gangbang was really going on with it. The Rodney King ride made the gangbang come to a chill for a minute. But right that shit went away, them niggas went right back to gangbang.
You know what I mean? Because you got shit that's been happening for motherfucking years and being deeply rooted. You know, I fuck with people in LA, man. I stay in Ontario. You know what I mean as well, man. I fuck with people out fruits, so I fuck with some other trees and shit like that.
You like those people with each other.
I fuck with niggas out of niggas going shouts out to Cappuccino, got this goddamn podcast doing. Yeah, man, he a real nigga, man. You know what I'm talking about, bend down in the rag. You know what I mean? It's a few of them dudes out there, man, that I follow, my low nigga that I fuck with, man, I want to meet that nigga too. Loco, man, out of H-Town, 60s, you know what I'm talking about? Man, Loco be on some real shit, man. He stay on some real shit.
When I was in Mineral Wells, man, that's when I first started meeting a lot of Houston niggas, man.
And Loco Vision, man. Shouts out
to Loco. I know you talking about.
Man, he a real low, man. I think my brother's 60, man. But he don't. Even when he politicking with other lokes, he don't never disrespect us. You hear me?
No, you know what I'm talking about? Man. I mean,
you know how most niggas get with their people, it's this, and it's this, that. That's the lingo you speak. But you know what I'm talking about? He don't do that, bro. He keep it 100, dog, because, he welcome dogs on his show too, man. And I respect that G, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, man. That's how it's supposed to be, though. Like.
Yeah, man. And he keeps some good content going, some good informational good shit going. And I like how he be riding them niggas. He be on one nigga ass. I'm talking about, man, he be having them niggas having faces on donkeys and shit. I don't know what Loco be coming up with this shit at, man. Well, shouts out to motherfucking Loco Vision, man. Man, that nigga that be having me laughing like a motherfucking, he get on their ass and ride it. I'm talking about niggas, they can't say nothing. Cause all this shit be facts when he be running to them. You hear me? That's one thing I can say about that brother. When you watching Loco, man, he ain't never coming to you what he think he know. He coming to you what he got, nigga, paperwork. Niggas name this, name that, and woo. And then they be trying to tarnish my nigga, but that one nigga he be on can't do nothing about it.
That's why to go to what you said, what me and you do, it does take a certain type of person to do what we do, because you gotta worry about the backlash. You got to worry about somebody getting mad at your opinion, or what you say or what you do. So I make this show try to be for everybody who comes, who watches the show. I got white friends. And sometimes when I interview a rapper or a dude that does a singing, they can't relate to those episodes. But episodes like this and episodes you see me on when I'm by myself,
they relate to
because it's talking about something that's relevant or this got something to do with some worldly shit. But when I try to make my show for everybody, man, and the street, when it comes to talking the street shit on the show, I feel like that's stuff people need to be educated on or get some information on, because everybody ain't like me and you.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do these episodes right here, or we do an episode that we put ourselves in a position to get trolls, comments, the backlash. We might say it so that might offend somebody on here. So I just want to say, us doing this what we do, man. It takes a certain kind of people to do it.
It do, bro. It do.
We put ourselves involved. We put ourselves in the bed with the council council. Man, he can get counseled by a lot of people based off one episode. We take this one episode, or one thing we might say in the episode might offend somebody, where we might upset a certain community.
Certain genre,
or people who from a different area, we might upset somebody and it can affect us in the long run. It might can help us, but it takes a certain kind of person to do this type of show, man. And I want to say I salute him for doing what he's doing, and I appreciate myself anyway. Anybody who
likewise, man, likewise.
There needs to be a point in life where you can disagree with your friends and shit, man. And y'all be cool the next day or the same day.
Nah, it ain't like that, because these niggas want yes men.
Now on Facebook,
they want motherfucker to be a yes man.
You can give your opinion about one thing. You agree with each other on a million things. You can give your one opinion about one thing and block you
for 30 days. Or unfriend you.
Or your friend that unfriend you on the shit that they already knew about how you felt.
No.
You knew now that I put it on Facebook.
Or some shit you done already posted that I spoke on.
Back when I was 19 years old, you know I felt this way about this situation. I haven't changed about it. So why are you more mad about it now that I posted, opposed to me saying it in the public? So it's like we in that era now where you can get canceled easily. Like monetization. We might say something or curse too much, where we might don't get no monetized for the video we doing, or we might get a whole what they call them, coach,
Sport.
like that. Yeah, I don't want the LGBTQ. They might
Type of shit.
They might go against me or whatever. So we put ourselves in these positions, man, because everybody got freedom of speech to voice their opinion about something.
But we really don't.
I mean, we really don't.
But we really don't,
But
bro.
I just to go back to what local TV do. I like to speak about facts that way it won't ever backlash on me. So most of the time when I speak about shit, like you say, he got it on paper. I like to, when I talk about shit, I don't like to speculate. That way I won't make it think I'm gossiping or being chatty about it. I like to come up with the facts and make sure it's the fact, then talk about it.